Welcome to Good, Bad, where we usually tell you if a game is good, bad, or but for this episode we will be showing you some gameplay of WeedCraft Inc. Towards the end of January, I was able to get hands-on with the game and speak with its lead writer, Scott Alexander. It was awesome taking time to talk to Scott not just about the game, but also the weed industry itself and other games. You will see short parts of the interview during the video. Just want to let you know, this game is still in beta. WeedCraft Inc. takes the tycoon-style game that we all know and love, and adds a bit more to it. It goes deeper than usual tycoon games, and it's centered around weed. WeedCraft Inc. is about two brothers, one who went to college and the other who likes weed. They decide to partner up and start selling weed to make money and to possibly make a difference, but that's up to you.
So those can be, I'm just going to kind of fast forward the tutorial a little bit. So you can grow, you can sell, you can have a front business, and you can have a lab.
Wow.
So you might want to have a house just be all growing, and another place be all selling, and another place be all labs, or you might want to mix them up. Or you want to throw a front business in there to like lower the suspicion of the cops. There's a whole cop mechanic, there's employees.
This is like a deep ass game.
These are ready now. We wanted to make a serious tycoon game.
And that they did. To start off the game, you only have one weed seed to grow and start your weed empire.
Yep, you'll only have one strain of weed to start with. The Reggie.
Once you have a seed planted, you can save it so you can just drag it to the pot.
Now if you save this plant setup, later when these setups get a little more complicated, this will be more important, but now this is down in your saved plants. You can just drag that setup onto any pot.
Oh, nice.
And reset it. So eventually you're going to be like, I want this soil with this strain and these potassium levels and these whatever levels, and then you can just save that whole thing and be like, this is the way I like to grow this strain. It's down there, and you can just easily drag it.
Like weed loadouts.
Exactly right.
Nice.
Yeah.
As you get more seeds, you can expand your basement so you can grow multiple types of weed.
Okay.
So right now, in this first setup, you're only going to have like really one option for each thing. Eventually, you have multiple options for lights at different cost, multiple options for growth mediums and everything else. And right now, you're going to have the crappiest light, the crappiest soil.
You can adjust certain levels of the weed to make the quality much better, and that will help it sell in the marketplace and help you stand out from your competition.
Like my competition did something.
Oh yeah, they started poisoning your weed.
Cool. Nice.
Time to run them out of town.
Having good quality weed is one way to run them out of town.
Police vigilance starts being a thing. So you're a certain amount of heat on this building based on your electricity usage. So more efficient lights will lower your vigilance.
Okay.
You can add a front business, like have a coffee shop or a co-working space or a game dev studio.
Is that really one of the options?
It is.
Nice.
They couldn't resist.
The skill tree here can help your character grow into whether you want to be decent or shady.
How important was it to get that shady, the illegal and legal
So those gate
morality issue?
This is locked right now. It's if we get another couple objectives, we'll unlock it. When you click here, there's 4 different perk trees that unlock based on, and it's not a zero sum. So you can like do decent stuff, it'll improve your decency rating, and do shady stuff, and it'll improve your shadiness rating. But once you're up a certain level of shadiness, you'll get new unlocks, the perks.
Okay.
And there's a perk tree for like relationships, there's a perk tree for cultivation, there's a perk tree for growing.
Wherever you land on a decent shady scale will affect the way your story goes and also the perks and rewards that you will get as you grow your weed empire.
Like other tycoon games don't really go that extra step. It would just be growing and selling, growing and selling. What I like about this is that you are trying to make a change. Yeah, it's in the game, but it's also like a more real, like
but
this
you
could
might
actually
be trying to keep it illegal.
Depends on where you lie on the illegal, shady.
Exactly. So you might say like, I make more money when it's illegal.
Yeah.
All right.
But if they want to be the good guy, they
Right.
have the opportunity to make change and bring light to this industry that isn't really trying to hurt anybody.
That's right.
Just trying to help people more than anything. Or depends
Yes
where you
and no.
fall on that.
Right,
on the
exactly. But
scale.
that's why it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
let's
think
sell
you
this.
have it precisely where we're trying to go with it. It's just like, you know, without saying this is good or bad, we can say this is super
It's where you morally fall on.
Yeah.
The following interview clips are not linked to the gameplay. I just want to keep this nice format.
It's not in the scenario you're playing now, but there's one scenario where you go to Jersey and you try to change the laws in New Jersey to become legal. Or you can, that's one option. You can either change the laws to become legal or change the laws to make it illegal to knock your competition out of business so you can corner the market, the illegal market.
This game is being published by Devolver, who tried to sell their own cryptocurrency at last year's E3. I asked Scott what it was like working with them on WeedCraft.
I have been working with Devolver on this game. I think this is like a Devolver game based on like how they present themselves in the public light. And this is like the ideal game that you didn't say this is Devolver, like this should be a Devolver game.
Right, Devolver should have signed this up, right?
So how's it been working with them since they're like
Great.
making like getting like more known with their indie games?
Well, they're great to work with. They're so developer centric that they really kind of push developers to, or they don't push developers at all. They allow developers to take the reins of what they're doing and kind of take a back seat, like versus other publishers that I've heard about. There's a lot less, they want the game to come out and there's deadlines and there's things and there's plans, but then their whole thing is like, we do the marketing, we deal with the publishers, and we deal with the platforms and these things. We'll deal with Steam, we'll deal with Xbox, we'll deal with whoever. So you can just make the game. So they kind of
so you don't have to worry about
take all
that
the
aspect.
Yeah, but then the game's your game. So yeah, they've been great. I've done a few games with them, they're all game companies should work like Devolvers, but almost all of them do not.
That's unfortunate. Devolver's been killing it.
Oh yeah, they've been doing so great.
As you get deeper in the game, you can hire employees to do some of the work for you, which is pretty nice.
And then eventually you'll get employees who can come do the gardening for you, or do the selling for you, or dig up dirt on your competition, or dig up dirt on your own employees.
Ooh.
If you want to be really shady, you can dig up some dirt on your employees and have a friendly conversation saying, I don't want to tell anyone about this, but you don't really want that raise, do you?
How friendly is it?
It's not very friendly at all. But you could actually be friendly with it. They won't ask for a raise if you're genuinely friendly.
But okay,
So you can save money by blackmailing them, or you can save money by genuinely befriending them.
Okay.
Same with your competition. You can befriend them and they'll be less competitive with you, maybe make deals with you, or you can blackmail them, rat them out of comps.
Scott wrote the script for the game and did a lot of research to make this game feel as realistic as possible in today's world.
Did the team members have to do extensive research to make sure?
I did.
Everything...
I was the main. As the writer, I was the person kind of coming up with the scenarios and the concepts. The team is in Poland. They're in Warsaw.
Okay.
And they are familiar with the broad outlines of the American market and are very experienced game developers. And so they worked with actually some guys who have worked on heavy-duty tycoon games. So they handle all those kind of background system stuff of growing and selling and all this other stuff. And I worked on the kind of cultural piece of legality and illegality and the kind of rip from the headlines stories, working in the criminal justice ramifications, the medical market ramifications, the state by state sort of legality. Where does it make sense to set this story? Where does it make sense for them to expand into?
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. So yeah, I did a ton of research on this stuff. Met some pretty interesting characters from lawyers. It is wild. The demographics of people in the weed industry are just everybody. It is ex-cons, it is ex-criminals, it is current criminals, it is Wall Street guys, it is lawyers, it is doctors, it is like, it's as across the board as it could be. There's a whole boom in journalism.
Just because you're doing good in a game, it doesn't mean you have to start your own weed empire.
Okay, let me go figure all this stuff out.
I think you have like
not like farming.
You're actually like running, like, I feel like I could be running an actual company.
Right.
But like having a notebook full of like, okay,
Well, that's
homeless
what the
man.
tycoon guys want, man. They want that kind of depth where they, I don't know if you play Tropico or
No, I haven't played Tropico.
yeah, but those games where there's you're like, I could run an island nation.
I mean, I shouldn't, but like, I feel like I could.
Well, I shouldn't, but neither should the guy who's running this island nation. In Tropico.
Oh yeah. Feel like that when I play SimCity.
Right. So it's ganja.
And this is such like a good game for this time, because as the weed industry is getting bigger now, with just like legislation stuff, but having it in like a more portable form. Mm-hmm. This is like a perfect year and time and culture for this type of game.
Yeah, like a year ago we were like, there's a lot happening with this, and then over the course of the year, as we've been working on it, like it's just like boom, Jersey. After Jersey, New York, Cynthia Nixon came out and said, I'm going to run on this platform against Cuomo of legalizing weed. And that forced Cuomo to kind of say, yeah, we're going to consider legalizing weed. So there's even movement in New York on it now. Massachusetts legalized in the last year.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Boston's going to have recreational dispensaries.
My friend's up there. He's waiting for them to open.
Yeah.
Yes, you start small in Flint, Michigan, but there's a lot more in store for you as you play the game.
Big cities, there's big cities in the game, and there's small towns in the game, and everything in between, and that these are all markets, and that if you were starting out in a city like Flint, it's not inconceivable that you could bootstrap something out of your basement and like become kind of a big deal in Flint before moving on to a larger city. But Michigan's on the verge of legalization.
Okay.
They have medical. It's based on, there is, in the current, if you mouse over the city, see, medical is legal. You don't have a medical license.
Okay.
It's not unlocked yet. But eventually when you have enough money, you can buy a medical license. And then open legal dispensaries.
Is that like the end goal? Like, what's the biggest you can get?
Well, you could run New York City.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could get some legislation done to legalize weed here, and then run recreational dispensaries in New York City.
Is that so?
Push your competition out of the market. So yeah, there's you can lobby politicians to change legislation. So you can work the cops, you can work the politicians, work the competition, work your employees, and then do marketing campaigns that can change. So you're not going to be able to get legalization done unless cannabis acceptance is at a certain level within the population. So you might need to do a marketing campaign to increase cannabis acceptance among the general public. And is that like, we should be compassionate towards medical patients, or should it be like, dude, it's the 420 fest, like, what's the best way? Who are you going to capture with this or versus that? And
in addition to a 25 to 30 hour story, there are 2 DLC packs planned for this game already.
Yeah, and the story's going to support this. So these are 2 guys, one had to drop out of his MBA program because his dad died of cancer, and is in this business because of, starts out from a kind of medical perspective, and there's a little bit more of a medical cast to it. The second scenario is more criminal justice. The guy's coming out of jail on a federal sentence for smuggling weed from California to Colorado. He's in federal prison in Colorado well after marijuana is legalized there because it's not federally legal. So everyone he used to be in business with, the guy who ratted him out. they've all been in business legally for years. They have a head start on them. And he's starting to try and, that's a bit more about the law, focuses a bit more on changing the law and criminal justice reform, those kind of issues.
WeedCraft arrives on PC and Mac in early April. Wouldn't it be funny if
Any way that I feel like the meme thing to do would be to release it on 420.
Oh, it really would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Is that what day is that? Is that a Tuesday or a Friday? That'd be perfect.
I mean,
That's just like
Devolver digital. It's not Devolver CD-ROM.
Oh, true, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, if that's like,
it's traditional to go Tuesday, but I'll check. The meme thing to do. That's funny. It's a Saturday. But you're right. April, it would.
like if you're already releasing in April.
I'm just gonna say it. If this game released on 420 or at least has a sale, I take partial credit for it. Huge thank you to Devolver for letting me play the game early, and thank you to Scott for sitting with me for the interview. I had a lot of fun playing it, and it will definitely take up a lot of your time without you even knowing it. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff, either on YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter. That's all I got. Thanks for watching.